Alright, well, we were running good, and I just had a massive fog. And here it is. The engine is in. By in, I mean it's just hung. It's just in by the motor mounts. This thing sat outside for a while. And as you can see, our little switch panel, a little crusty. Would attempt to use it. I haven't even opened it yet, but start button is stuck. So we got another one. Pop this one out, see how terrible it is, and replace it with this one. Well, that wasn't very waterproofy. Holes drilled, straining. Yeah, some old stagnant water. And it was an absolute blaster ride. Still had a few kinks to work out, but it was absolutely phenomenal ripping around on this thing. I don't really want to crank the engine over because it doesn't have any oil in it, but everything does have a little bit of lube in it. Alright. I will take that. Now what we really need to do is take care of this situation. Now the seat sits here, and the exhaust is right here. And this exhaust gets really, really hot. Hasn't melted the seat yet, but man, does it get toasty on your back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some heat wrap. We're just gonna wrap the headers from here down to here. We don't need to wrap the bottom. I don't want the bottom getting caught and unwrapped on things. So let's get to the fun itchy part. Zip tie these so they stay up and out of my way. So I know how to fight with them while I'm wrapping these tubes. Alright, so here's the heat wrap. Can wrap these 4 tubes the best we can to keep some of this heat off the seat. It is going in wintertime, so I mean, a little bit of seat heat is nice, but last year when we used this thing, it was way too hot. You know, I wonder something. I wonder if I can use my CV boot clamp pliers. Special tool? What this thing is? Because I bet, if I remember right, these are pretty much the exact same design as the little universal CV boot clamps. And those can snug up pretty good, except for if I do it that way, I'm going to make it very difficult to get to with this hole. I just don't want these coming unraveled. Because I just don't want to do it again. I hate dealing with this fiberglass. But this one's still shifting and I don't like it. Don't like it at all. So if you've never used one of these are just a handy little universal CV boot tool, CV boot clamp tool. For the ones that don't have the little locking tabs on them, usually come on the aftermarket kits, the little repair kits. They're insanely cheap. I think I'm doing it upside down. The joys of being left-handed. Boom. That was tight. Fold it up and over so it can't come loose. Boy, I did it wrong. That's all right. It's been a while since I used these. Normally it'll cut itself off, but I didn't lace it through correctly. I haven't had to rebuild any CV shafts lately. There we go. That's better. up with a little tabby on the end. You just roll it over so it doesn't stab you later. Alright, I feel better about that. Got the exhaust done. Let's get it slid in here. Which way it goes in best. Mine goes in from underneath best. Exhaust valve seal, or exhaust seals, exhaust valve seals. Just exhaust. The crazy part about this exhaust was when I put this engine in, I was really hoping I wasn't going to have to modify the exhaust a whole lot. So this is still the factory head pipe. This is the stock pipe that would actually bring it up underneath the undertail. And then this was an aftermarket muffler that was on it that I just cut down, but I didn't have to mess with any of the tubing. I was able to just have just enough clearance past the axle.
Got a new chain. Because honestly, I lost the old one. I don't know where I put it.
Alright, this is where our questionable chain tensioners have to go. Should have been putting the chain tensioner on the bottom. That's on the non-drive side, but there's very limited space and I don't have any frame down here to work with. So just out of speed, because the chain tension was the last thing I was thinking of when we built this thing, was I made this little tab just with this little spring-loaded arm, and the springs would come down. I can't even remember where I had these springs attached, but somewhere. And so every time you hammered on the gas, it would roll this up and it put a whole bunch of tension on this wheel. And being a cheap wheel, it just wrecked it. Alright, so I think I've finally come up with a way to get the chain tensioner in here. And this is that Nash tensioner. It comes with other brackets and stuff like that. But I can actually put it right here. I'm going to have to drill a hole, put a nut on the back side of this one, drill and tap here. So this should be interesting, but it actually lines up good. Alright, one of the things we always had issues with, which is kind of annoying because we don't have an instrument cluster, are these secondary throttle valves. Kept getting a code for them, and honestly, in this situation, you don't even really need them. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to unscrew the plates, pull the plates off. Problem solved. They can throw the code all at once. Alright, time to put these throttle bodies back in. I don't remember them being difficult. So the interesting thing was, on the street bike, your air box sits this way to get the ram air, but that doesn't fit in here. So what we did was cut the air box and make it so you can put the air box in backwards. And then we had to rewire all of the injector connectors to be able to do that. Oh my God, that started nice.
I saw green coming out. Yeah, me too. That's bad.
Luckily the seat took most of it. Just fixed a fuel leak for like the third time in a row. And decided it was a good idea to give it the first test jump. Alright, we jumped it for the first time and everything went wrong. But not really a big surprise because these shocks are out of the junk pile. Never changed anything about the rear suspension of the go-kart. So what ended up happening was, when we landed, the radiator smashed into the frame, causing the radiator to explode, as you can see in this video, all over the back of my head. So what we're gonna do on our next video is we need to make some brackets and some mounts and put these on. I think this would be a pretty good upgrade. Razor 1000 XP Walker Evans rear shocks. If this doesn't do it, I don't know what will.